We live, baby. Happy Valentine's Day. Coriel checking in. So I am about to go live on Instagram at Coriel. Make sure you're following me over there. So if you are following me on Instagram, then you will be able to see the split screen. Ellie and I are about to go live. But because I know this is going to be such a great conversation, I wanted to at least give you all the background audio. So you are going to be behind the scenes. I'm going to be looking over here at my phone because, like I said, actually, I'm going to try to move it over so that, let's see, hopefully I'm not looking too crazy trying to look up here and talk to y'all at the same time. But I'm excited. Today's conversation is all about recognizing red flags, whether you are the red flag or maybe he might be. But that's what we are talking about today. Let me see. All right, I got my notes ready. Let me move my lights. Let's see if that makes it a little better. All right. In the comments, though, feel free to drop some questions, drop some topics that you want to hear me talk about. Again, today's conversation is all about recognizing red flags, and we are going to get this thing rolling. All right, so I'm going live. Actually, wait, I wanted to do one more thing. Y'all, I'm trying to get real fancy. So give me 2 seconds. All right. If you're not subscribed, well, actually, I know that you're subscribed because you would not be here so fast if you are not subscribed. But if you are watching this replay, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you'll be notified when I am live. I am about to drop a reminder on Instagram, and then we are going to get this conversation started. Again, y'all are getting like the behind the scenes, backstage pass to this conversation. You are only going to get to see me. You're not going to get to see Ellie, but you'll get to hear her. So sit tight. We're going to get started in just 1 second. All right. Ugh. All right, for real this time. Let me set the, oh, you know what? I can't even set the mood because I'm on YouTube and they will take your girl's video down and we ain't got time for that. So, hey, Sherlonda. Thank you for tuning in. Happy Monday. Happy Valentine's Day, Instagram fam. I hope you are having an amazing afternoon. I am excited about today's conversation. Come on in, tag a friend, tell her to tap in. This conversation is going to be especially helpful if you happen to be a single woman. But listen, if you know, like I know, then you might even be in a relationship or in a situationship, and you might not be recognizing those red flags. So this is not just a conversation for single women. You might have gotten yourself involved with someone that may be displaying or exhibiting some of these red flags that we're going to be talking about today, and you might be thinking that it's cute. Okay, because I've definitely been there and done that, where some of these red flags present themselves in a positive way at first until life comes at you fast and it gets real. So we're going to be talking about that today. My girl Ellie Talks Money is going to be pulling up in just a moment. Y'all requested this live. So February 1st, we kicked off Black History Month by celebrating Black love, because if we're being honest, when it comes to creating the Black future, there is no Black future without the Black family. Like, can we just like touch and agree? Can we touch and agree that there is no Black future without the Black family? So in order for us to really not just only focus on Black history, but create this amazing, beautiful Black future, it starts with the Black family, and the Black family starts with Black men and Black women getting our ish together. So on February 1st, we kicked off the month by having one of these real good girl talks that we are about to get into. And it was so good that y'all requested that we do another one. So we thought, what better time to host another girl talk than Valentine's Day? So today is all about love, whether you are loving on someone or just loving on yourself. Definitely want to encourage you to stop and celebrate yourself today. Okay. If you are like me, when I was single, I hated Valentine's Day. I was the Grinch who stole Valentine's. Hey, Marvin, I was the Grinch who stole Valentine's Day. Okay. Valentine's Day was the one day of the year where I felt like I would, well, not the one day, because I felt like this a lot of days, but it was definitely the day where I overly felt like I was lacking something. It felt like everybody else was in love. I would scroll on social media, I would flip through reality TV, and not only was everybody else coupled up and in love, but they were exchanging these fancy gifts. They were doing the most, and them doing the most made me realize what I was lacking. And so if you are feeling discouraged today, if you are feeling like you are the only one that God forgot, trust me when I say he did not forget about you. Okay. I truly, truly believe that there is a perfect partner out there being prepared for you right now. But in order for you to be in position for him, you got to get prepared. So I'm all about helping you prepare. I do not want anybody to get the false idea that I once had that getting married is all about having a wedding, getting the ring and having the wedding. That's cute. That's fun. But that only lasts a little while. If you do not build your marriage, if you do not build your relationship from a solid foundation, which starts with yourself, then it's really going to be hard for you to build something that truly lasts. And even if you're here and you're like, yo, sis, that sounds good, but marriage ain't even my ministry. Like, that ain't even my goal. Even if marriage is not your goal, commitment is, right? We're humans. We want commitment, we want companionship. And if that is your goal, then you are going to have to be willing to invest your time, your attention, and your intention on that goal, just as you invest on your professional goals. Because when it comes to building these businesses, when it comes to the weight loss, when it comes to our finances, any other area of our lives, we are super quick to take a class, hire a coach, do all of the things, join a community, like sign up for the programs, do all of the things to invest in ourselves. But when it comes to our personal lives, when it comes to our relationships, we think that it should just feel good. He should just find us. And that's not always the case. And so I am beyond excited to be bringing you all relationship readiness resources that can help you become a wife-minded woman. Because what I believe is once you become a wife-minded woman, the ring is a natural result. Now, I know y'all love quoting that Bible verse, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. Y'all love saying that you're the good thing. But sis, are you yet a wife? Because in order for him to find a wife, that means he has to find you as a wife. So my goal is to help you become a wife-minded woman so that you can get to the result that you've been hoping and wishing and praying for. We got to get prepared. You don't just get what you pray for, you get what you prepare for. So if you are ready to stop talking about it and start working for it, I definitely want to invite you to join me next week. Actually, it's this Sunday, February 20th, less than 7 days away from the rest of your life. I know that sounds a little bit dramatic, but this can truly be your last season as a single woman if you are ready to do the work. Okay, so if you're ready to do the work, join me this Sunday, 12 to 4 p.m. for the Single Season Summit, where we're really going to go through the strategies to help you figure out what you need to release, what toxic ties you need to cut, how you can start clearing space so that you can start attracting marriage-minded men who don't want to waste your time and who are actually worth your time. That's what it's all about at the Single Season Summit. So definitely tap the link in my bio to tap in. You can log on to everysingleseason.com if and only if you are ready to do the work to become a wife-minded woman. That's what it's all about. I know you think that it's all about just looking good and pulling up and he should just take you as you are, but sis, that's not the case. Because if you are truly going to manifest this amazing man that you've been praying about, this amazing man that you've been writing this list, dreaming up and wishing up, think to yourself, like, let's think logically. Take your emotions out of it, okay? Forget the fact that you know you are the ish and your mama raised you right. Forget all of that. If you just look at it logically, this man that you've been praying for, dreaming about, hoping and wishing that God just sends him to you, this man, right? What type of woman do you think he's going to be attracted to? What type of woman is a match to that list? Hey, Ajna, happy Monday, happy Valentine's Day. Your goal in manifesting this man of your dreams is to become a match to the man of your dreams. So the second part that they don't tell you, that I'm here to tell y'all don't want to hear, but I got to tell you because I got to keep it real. Making the list works. Take it from somebody who has manifested a mess of a man by making that list. It works. But what you have to do after you make the list, the part that nobody talks about, the part that everybody wants to skip over and leave out, what you have to do after you make the list is you have to become the list. You have to become a match to the list, because guess what? The law of attraction is really real. That thing works. But the law of attraction is only going to bring you what you are a match for. So you got to think about your point of attraction. So for any single ladies who happen to be single here on Valentine's Day, and you want this to be your last single season, you want this to be your last Valentine's Day where you are just celebrating yourself, which you definitely should still be celebrating yourself, then I definitely want to encourage you to stop for a moment and start using your logic instead of just your emotions. We have to stop looking at our love lives as something that we just should, feel good, rainbows and butterflies and sunshines and fairy tales. Like that that don't work. That don't work. That was like cute when we were kids. But as grown women, we got to get our ish together. Now, let me not say that. You got to get your ish together if your goal is to manifest a man that has his ish together. If you just want a man, any old man, to keep you company, then by all means, says don't get your ish together. Like, just go out looking fly. You can attract a man. Any single woman within the sound of my voice knows it's not hard to attract a man. These men want you when you looking a fool, when you got your bonnet on, when your hair not done. It almost seems like they are more interested when you looking a mess than they are when you go out with intention and you're presentable and you feeling good, looking good, feeling fly. So getting the man is not the goal. And you have to be super, super specific and intentional with what you request, because the universe hears what you request. God is hearing what you request. You can say God knows your heart all day long, but if you set the intention, God, I want a man, you're literally saying, I want any old man, any man. And I don't know about you, but I'm not willing to settle for just anyone. I want to attract the partner who has been preparing for me just like I've been preparing for him. And so in order to do that, you have to be strategic, you have to be intentional, and you have to make sure your attention stays on your intention. So that means when a man shows up and he might be looking good, smelling good, driving a nice car, all of the things that are attractive to you, even if he shows up looking the part, a grown woman who has done the work will recognize whether or not he truly just looks the part or he's ready to play the part. Because looking the part and playing the part are two different things. But once you've done the work, you'll be able to recognize a man who's done the work. You'll be able to recognize a man who's deserving of your time. So you have to make sure your attention stays on your intention. Even if he shows up looking good, even if he shows up looking fly, does he match what you see for yourself or not? Is he looking the part or is he ready to play the part? Write that down. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Next time your single sis is going through it, say, is he looking the part or is he playing the part? Ellie, it's not showing up. I don't know why. Okay, I see it now. All right, YouTube, my girl Ellie is tapping in. Y'all, I'm live over here on YouTube too so that I can save this conversation. Hey, Ellie. There you are. It's a crazy day. Listen, I'm happy you're here. The people been waiting. I can't even get in my office. I don't know. I left my key to my office at home. So I'm in like the little lobby area. It's okay. I'll have somebody let me in, but I didn't want to make this wait any longer. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, okay. So we're gonna have to give them like some gems real quick. And then don't make me say we're gonna have to do a part 3 because they hating on part 2. And then look, you freezing up. Listen, this is how you know when it's going to be good. When you start having these technical difficulties, you know that there's a message that somebody out there wants you to miss. So for those of y'all who are just pulling up, happy Valentine's Day. Whether you are single, in a situationship, married, it's complicated, whatever your relationship status might be, I want to encourage you to love on yourself today. Show yourself some love, okay? This conversation is all about how you can recognize red flags and how you can make sure you ain't the red flag. So sis, get your notebook out. Listen, I don't want to hurt any feelings today. It is Valentine's Day. It's a day full of love, but we're going to keep it real. So if you are the walking, talking red flag, sis, this is for you. Let's get into it, Ellie. Okay, can you hear me? I can hear you. I can see you. You looking good. You ready? I'm ready. Okay, so I think that this is a super important. Go ahead. Wait, I'm sorry. Let me turn my volume up. I don't like to hold my phone when I'm talking, but you can hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, cool. Hi, everybody. Listen. We getting it together. The technologies. I left my keys at home to get in my office. It's okay. It's okay. That just means that this is going to be such a good word that like all of these obstacles tried to come up against this conversation. So I'm even more excited about it. I'm actually so excited. So we are talking all about a lot of things, but recognizing red flags. And I also want us to think about how we recognize red flags in others, but also, sis, in ourselves. Because I love y'all, and I love y'all enough to call y'all out sometimes. Mm-hmm. Say, he's not the red flag, you are. Listen, so again, we're going to keep it real today. And in getting what we want, whether we're talking about personally, professionally, in business, in love, if you are not willing, what they say in AA, the first step is admitting that you have a problem. If you are not willing to start there, then you're never going to be able to get to where you're trying to go. So we have to start from a solid foundation. Absolutely. It's so important. I think, yeah, you have to start from a solid foundation. And I love this kind of conversation because it relates so much to business, just as it relates to our personal life. You know, it's easy for us to think about correcting our wrongs and, you know, addressing our issues when it comes to running our business. But if you want to have a successful relationship as well, we have to look at what's not adding up there too. What's not in alignment? What is preventing this person that I want from coming to me? When I start a relationship, why is it ending? Just as if we would go and study our Instagram analytics or our sales to try to figure out why we're not selling, you also want to try and figure out why you're not attracting what you want and keeping what you want. Listen, so this is the thing, and I think that there is a misconception that women have. So let me preface this by saying I've always been a daddy's girl. I've always been the home girl. I've always been surrounded by close male friends. And that has blessed me because I've gotten to learn some hard lessons from like mistakes other women have made with these men. And then I'm hearing about it. So because of that, I know that we are sometimes showing up in a way that we don't necessarily recognize. And we don't always have a lot of people who are willing to keep it real with us. And like I just said, a lot of times we're not even willing to keep it real with ourselves. So if you just stop for a moment and think about the last few people that you've attracted, you could spend your time thinking about what they did wrong, how they showed up, what they said, why they didn't work, yada, 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 whatever. But until you stop and think about the common denominator, which is you, and not even not even meaning that you are doing something wrong. It literally could be your point of attraction. It literally could be the energy that you're putting out there that is attracting a specific type of person that exhibits this specific behavior that you are not recognizing. And because you're not recognizing it, you're not doing anything about it. So the next time you go out, you're giving off the same energy, you're using the same lines, you're doing the same things, and then you attract the same man with a different name. New face. It's you, boo. It's you. But again, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing something. Sometimes it's that you are accepting something. And they're not to blame for that either. I think it's like a Bryson Tiller song that talks about like he's only going to do what you allow him to do. You can't blame him.
So true. And that's what I learned in my last relationship, my marriage, let me say, it was a marriage, right? That's what I learned in my marriage is that we spend so much time blaming or frustrated that the other person won't change, when in reality, it's not our job to make anybody change.
Nope.
It's our job to recognize, you know what, you're not changing, so I'm going to go ahead and let you be where you are, and I'm going to go ahead and step aside.
Yep.
That's where we have to take ownership. We cannot be mad, frustrated, crying because they won't change. We have to recognize the fact that they're not changing, that they're staying where they are currently staying, and say, you know what, I'm not going to allow this to permeate my space anymore. So I'm going to let you go ahead and be what you're going to be over there, and I'm going to go ahead and head out.
Yep.
Like the SpongeBob. All right, I'm going to head out. Because, you know.
And that's hard, though, too. It's easier said than done, for sure.
Yeah, it's very hard. It takes years. I mean, I was in my marriage for almost 8 years waiting for the change to happen. And it wasn't until I realized that it either wasn't going to happen or not in the time that I needed it.
Not in this lifetime, baby. So listen, so that's the thing. So you just said something too that I would like to point out is that it's not just recognizing the red flag, because we all, ladies, I believe our greatest gift from God is our intuition. Like my gut instinct is God giving me a sign. He's giving me direction. He's, that is what I tap into, and it's super powerful, right? But recognizing those red flags is only half the battle. Acting on that red flag, that's a different story. That's a different story, because nobody wants to make a tough decision to cut off so-and-so when he's looking good and smelling good and doing all the right things and saying all the right things. Nobody wants to let that person go when they are looking the part, even if you know that they're not playing the part. You don't want to let them go. So again, it's not necessarily that you are doing something. Sometimes it's that you are allowing something. So let's get into these red flags, Ellie, because I think some of these red flags definitely would have saved us in your marriage, when I was previously engaged, right? We could have saved ourselves had we been privy to this type of conversation prior to.
Listen, so when you even think about, now that I'm back dating, I'm on the market and whatever. Oh, girl, the red flags be red flagging. Like, now, okay, let me say this, y'all. Therapy, we talked about this I don't know, 2 weeks ago. Therapy will help you have the vision to recognize the flags. Because if you try to hop back out there without, especially if you were in a toxic relationship or an abusive one, if you try to hop out there without getting someone to help you see what caused you to even attract and stay with that person in the first place, like Coriel said, you'll get that person right back with another name. Yep. So you have to be able to recognize the flags. And I think for me, a big red flag at the beginning, let me see. Because I'll be seeing them.
Well, listen, Ellie, I got one. If you need to think about it, girl.
Sure.
Okay, so listen. Love bombing. I didn't even know this was a thing. I didn't even know what this meant. So let me tell y'all, let me break it down. Love bombing is the overly like the overcompensating, I love you so much so fast man. The man who immediately knows that he, like, you know, when I got engaged, the day I met him, he told me I was going to be his wife. He quickly wanted us to be committed. He quickly wanted us to travel out of the country and do all of the things very, very fast. He was very overly, you know, trying to do all the right things, trying to say all the right things. That for sure is a red flag. Anybody who does not want to take their time in getting to know you probably has something to hide that they know the longer you spend with them, the harder it's going to be for them to hide it. So they have to, chase you down with all of this love so that when this other stuff starts to come out, you are like overwhelmed with the love. So love bombing, look out.
That's so true.
They be trying.
I would also say anyone who at the very beginning is, and this should be, y'all should be able to recognize this, but sometimes we think it's cute. Anyone who becomes like possessive.
Yep.
Way of like, oh, where you at? Like, I want to see what you're doing. You know that jealousy that we be like, oh,
he like me.
Mm-hmm. Like,
no, ma'am.
And y'all be liking it, and I know because I was that.
I liked it too. You think you special? No, ma'am.
Yes. It's not good. He's all the time. Where are you? What you doing? I want to come there. No, like I want you only by my side.
No, sir.
I think it's cute until it gets crazy. I would definitely say that's one thing. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, no. Too quick, too soon. Relax, slow down. So yes, being possessive or overprotective is how it shows up. Like, I just want to make sure you're good. So call me when you get there. Text me on the way. Let me talk to you until that type of, sis, don't be no fool. Okay, so love bombing, being super overprotective or possessive. My next one is going to be mood swings. And what I mean by mood swings, well, I mean, y'all know what mood swings mean, but anybody who flashes on and off, like 1 minute it's good, the next month, the next minute they're just enraged for no reason, red flag. Especially if this is something, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be like they're mad at you. The real red flag is how they behave about other people with other situations, other scenarios. If they're coming home from work every day in a rage because so-and-so did something at work or so-and-so did something, in traffic, sis, something ain't right. So mood swings, like he just wake up mad. You gang banging over breakfast? No, sir.
That shows a lack of ability to be able to control your emotions and be able to assess your emotions as well, because it's never that serious.
Nope, ever.
It's really never that serious. You know what else is a red flag for me? When they tell me or when I pay attention to, this is similar, their friends, right? So are they talking about their friends in a certain way? Did they just have a problem with a friend? Are they mad at somebody in their life right now?
Mm-hmm.
Is there always something going on?
Yes.
Right? And another red flag too related to that is like, if I notice that they're not hanging out with anybody, I don't ever hear you tell me you're gonna go hang out with your homeboy.
Where your people at?
Yeah. I don't ever hear you tell me you're, just going out to get some drinks, having a social life. That's another thing. Ooh, I just thought of another one.
Go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
So, y'all, this is the thing. One thing I've come to realize now that I have a business as well, any man who's too available, like that. Not only is it a turnoff, but it's also a red flag, because this is the thing. If he's available all the time and he's calling you all the time, or you're calling him all the time, and he can answer, that's not good, because he should be busy. Even if he's not busy, he should have boundaries to where if he's not going to answer the phone call, one every single hour.
Oh, I just thought of a good one, Ellie. I thought of one. Hold on, let me throw this one out there. If when he calls, you don't answer, if that man calls you back more than one time, red flag, black flag, get away, run fast. Go fast. It's not cute. It ain't love. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Run faster. Especially if it's more than one time. I mean, yeah, no. Like, it's an emergency. And he's like, something happened. But if that happens all the time, no, sis.
Listen.
No, sis. It's not cute. It's not flattery. It's crazy.
It's crazy. So listen, we gotta flip it though. We gotta talk about the ladies being the red flag. And one of the things that you just said is definitely like a perfect segue, because you mentioned, you know, if there's always a problem, if it's always, you know, you're always being messy. I literally just had this conversation with my husband on the podcast last week, and I asked him this very question, like, what are some things that women do that are red flags to men that we don't even know, you know, are red flags? And one of the main things that he said was drama. Men do not want to hear you gossiping. They don't want to hear you being messy. They don't want to know, like, don't let him be your dump at the end of the day. Like, call your homegirl, get in your group chat, post it on Twitter if you need to. But if a man, and I'm not saying, you know, you can't have these open conversations with your man, but at the beginning, if you always got some drama, if you always have a story, if so-and-so always did something, or if you got a bad attitude when you out in public, like how you said you watch with other people, like if you always got to go off on somebody, you always got a problem, sis, red flag.
Sis, I'm telling you, if you got to be positive, you got to be nice, even if you are going through something, especially at the beginning, keep it to yourself.
Please.
Call your homegirl, like you said, be his peace, even at the very beginning. What's another red flag for women? What do you think about? You know, I ain't got no red flag.
No, you gave a good one at the beginning, though. You just didn't say it as a red flag. But I think if you're not, so you talked about the importance of therapy. I think if you're not willing to go to therapy, like if you're not willing to face that stuff, that's a red flag.
I also think, you know, if a woman is not willing to share her feelings at the beginning in terms of just genuinely, you know, I'm not saying you have to make that man know how much you like him, but if a woman is, you know, difficult or is like playing games or like, you know, I'm a play hard to get, I would think that that's a red flag, because why? Why is it necessary to? We're all grown, you know. If I like you, you can know I like you. Exactly. I'm gonna just go out and act crazy, but you can know I like you. I think being vulnerable and a woman who's not showing that, at least on a natural human level, is a red flag.
And I think too that goes hand in hand with therapy, because all of us have been through something in relationships, like all of us. Grown women have gone through something. And until you've had a conversation to get through that thing that you've gone through, you're going to be taking it into the next relationship. So I definitely think not being vulnerable, having those walls up, having your guard up comes from you being hurt in the past, you being scared to be vulnerable, you being, you know, afraid to trust again, which is normal. But go to therapy. Go to therapy. So the opposite of what you said, Ellie, not being vulnerable, you know, not being willing to be open. I think another red flag for women is doing too much, like being too clingy, too overly emotional.
Yes, oversharing, talking about your ex on the first date, sis, is a red flag.
I don't have no exes on the first date. Who? I don't know him.
I don't have any exes. I'm sorry.
No, we're here to talk about us on the first date. This is all about us. What are we talking about? Yeah. And don't be asking him about his exes either. Red flag. Not on the first date. That's not your concern. Not your concern.
I can definitely imagine a man being very uncomfortable with that conversation that soon. Even later. I mean, it takes time. You first need to establish trust with that person before you start talking too much about exes and all this.
Yep.
I would definitely agree. Oversharing is not key. And you know what I think is another red flag? is being a people pleaser, always saying yes. And I think, this is something I've even worked on myself because I'm so nice all the time and I always want to go above and beyond for people. And I think if I'm thinking about how a man would perceive that, if I'm always overextending myself for everybody else, that's a red flag because then you have nothing to give to that person.
Yep.
So if I'm a man looking at a woman like that who is always giving, it's going to make me think, well, how will she ever be able to give to me?
Speaking of giving, this might hurt some. Listen, don't log off, okay? Don't log off when I say this. But a red flag, in my opinion, that goes both ways is having sex too soon. If a man is pressuring you to have sex, or if you are throwing your panties out across the hall, sis, red flag on the play. Let me tell you why. If that man is pressuring you to have sex, first of all, we grown, sir. I'm just going to be looking at you sideways if you're a grown man and you have to mention sex. You got to try to beat around the bush. You got to try to tell a joke. We don't have to do all of that. Like, we're not playing those games. We're not playing those games. So for a man, definitely a red flag. And then a woman, which this is a sensitive topic, I think, because I think a lot of times, and this goes back to us not truly knowing what men want and how they feel and their perspective on things. But I think as women, and this is speaking from personal experience, there have been times where I had sex with someone sooner than I was ready because I liked him. I might not have been ready to have sex, but I didn't want him to, think that I didn't like him. So he didn't necessarily pressure me, but I guess, pressured myself thinking that I had to live up to whatever this standard was. And me thinking that I'm going to keep him could actually push him away because he's like, well, sis, if you had sex with me after 2 weeks, I know I'm not that special. I know I'm not that special. I didn't even do much. So are you doing this with everybody?
And see, this is the thing, right? Because I have met women, I have friends who have, done it on the first day or night, and then that became their husband.
True.
So
this is true.
It's like sometimes it works, but there's a big but there. Do not count on that working all the time.
Can't count on it.
It's a chance. It's not the rule, right? It's just a chance. I think you're better off vetting a person first and taking time with that and building trust and making sure that they value you.
Exactly.
Before you give what is so
special.
From men and women.
Exactly. And I think too, again, trusting your guts, because of course there's always exceptions to the rule, but I think in your heart of hearts, whether or not this could be something, or whether, if this is just a night in Miami, or if this is somebody that you met and you feel like the stars align. Like, we know. So you playing yourself if you out here acting like you don't know and you really know. But you really know.
Be intentional. If you have a feeling this could become something, then wait, right? You want to make sure that they see you completely for who you are. Because yes, like the comment said, sex, it's not just sex that's going to make them want to be with you.
Nope, it's not.
A man can get sex anywhere.
Anywhere. You got to have something else to stand on, please.
Something else that makes him really want that sex from you. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole package. So I really like that you said that, because honestly nowadays there's a whole bunch of talk around, no, just do what you want, be free.
Listen, and no judgment. Again, you make your own choice. There are people who have met a man, slept with a man, married a man. It can happen. It's possible. But if we're talking about statistics, what are the odds? I just would rather try to set myself up for success. And I like being able to say or know that I made my husband wait. Like, personally, I love being like, this was not easy. You had to work for this. Like, make him work for something. Because if he doesn't work for that, literally, what will he work for? I mean, literally, what else is there? What else is there?
Do you know what else is a red flag? And I'm sorry, we're going back to the men. This is when you think of this. A red flag is not WYD, what you doing? We should hang out. Excuse me. I'm grown, you're grown. Tell me the time, the place, the date, and the occasion. That's a big red flag. If he can't have the, wherewithal and say, I'm coming to pick you up at X, Y, Z time, sis.
He's not for you. That's that. And I think that as women, we are naturally nurturers. We naturally think that we are superheroes, and we think that we can save these men or transform them into somebody who they're not. Most people, I hate to break it to you, most people can't even change themselves. How? I can't even get my baby to do what I want him to do. He's 10 months old. I damn sure can't get no man to become who I want him to be. So trying to convince yourself, this is a red flag for yourself. If you feel yourself thinking one thought over here and then trying to convince yourself of something else over here, red flag, red flag. It's not him.
You're gonna drive yourself crazy. You know what? Now this might make some people leave. Y'all don't leave when I say this, but here's another red flag for me. For this is for the women. Ladies, now everybody has different opinions. But to me, a red flag, you as a woman, is if you're asking for money or acts of generosity very early in. Ma'am, why are you asking that man to pay for your nails?
How were you getting your nails done before you met him? That's what I would be thinking. If I didn't offer, like,
too early. If he's not offering to cash out you money to go shopping, why are you asking for money to go shopping in the first week or two, or even month?
Ellie, you know why they're doing that though? Because social media, Ari and Moneybag Yo, no shade, have made people think that on every occasion or every day of the week, we should be buying each other cars. We should be dropping roses full of thousands of dollars. Like that is fake, faux, and a fantasy. It's not real, y'all. Like it's not real.
It's not, and it's sad because now I feel as though a lot of people are not investing into what could be a real relationship simply because that person can't do bouquets of roses every week, can't cash app you every Thursday. Some people can't. Let's remember, only 10% of people make over $100,000. I think it's even less than 10%. And when it comes to Black people, it's like 5%. And I'm not saying this to have a lack mindset, but let's look for other ways to show people that we love them. Let's look for other ways for you to know that that man cares for you other than a weekly cash app, bouquets of roses, and a new car. Let's look for other ways because most men are not able to keep up with that. But it doesn't mean he doesn't value you. You just have to see that he's showing you how he values you in another way that's maybe not monetary.
And it's a red flag if that's all that you're looking for, because he will be able to know that. So you will literally play yourself trying to keep up with what everybody else has going on. And then you look up and you the old single girl at the party and you didn't let all these good men listen. Because all of us have had a good guy that we just didn't want to be our guy. You can like play games and act like it ain't real if you want to, but all of us have had that guy that it's like, he just too nice. Like he just, no, I don't like him. Sis, you do not want to look up and be 40 and mad. And no shade if you're 40. I'm almost there. Okay, so that was not meant to be shady, but I'm just saying, like, come on, don't play yourself in your 20s and your 30s. Don't do it.
And I recommend you. So we made our list last week. We talked about making your list. Make your list, and then you need to assess how many things on the list does this guy check off, right? So when I'm looking at my list, it's currently he checks off 9 out of 10. The other 10 is that he doesn't make $1 million, like I do, right? That's the only thing that's not on the list. So you need to look at your list and say, okay, am I willing to ignore all the other things that are great simply because this one box isn't checked off? You gotta really assess these things.
Yep.
Because there might be someone else that has the box that they can buy you something every week. They can cash app you every Thursday. but they don't care about you. They don't cheat on you. They don't talk to their mom. They got 4 kids with 4 different baby mamas. I mean,
listen, and if you really want to be real about these men with money, just because a man has money does not mean he's about to give you any. That I have met some of the wealthiest, most selfish, stingy, cheap. Imagine manifesting this millionaire man. You care so much about him having $1 million, and then he don't even want to give you $8. Sis, worried about the wrong things. But if your goal is to attract a caring, kind, considerate, generous gentleman, what type of man does that sound like? Versus you just worrying about him having a check. He could get a check, but are you going to get any part of it? Are you going to benefit from it? Like,
that's exactly true. All those other characteristics will stay, even if the money comes or goes, right?
Yep.
That's what you want to look for, is when y'all are 70, 80 years old, is this a person that you know has your back 1,000%, whether y'all got a dollar to your name or not?
Yep.
You know, and I just wish that that was what is becoming normalized in society versus these very transactional relationships that are very showy for the brand. But what's happening at home?
Who? Exactly. Listen, I know it's cute, but nobody wants to look like they living a life and then they really miserable. Like that to me is worse than even being able to look like it. Like to pretend. We're not out here working for fake and phony. Like the goal is to create healthy, happy, committed marriages, right? Healthy, happy commitment. That's the goal. So if that is the goal, then it's going to have to be built on something a little bit stronger than just, oh, he looked good. He smelled good. He got some money in the bank. Like, no, ma'am. Okay, I'm trying to get to some of these comments. Can we make money and build together? Exactly. That is the goal. Let's not also act like Black women shouldn't want wealthy men. Listen, oh, I am absolutely not saying you shouldn't want wealthy men. I'm saying that shouldn't be the only requirement. If your only request to the Lord is to please send me a man with money, you're not going to get much. That's what I'm saying. I want to normalize luxury for Black women. We deserve it all. Okay. We deserve it all, baby. I will never say that you should not aspire to manifest a man that wants to build wealth with you. However, if that's all you're worried about, then you're going to end up attracting the wrong things. So, we are going to continue this conversation, not just around what you are attracting, recognizing red flags, making sure that you are not the red flag, but we are going to help you figure out how you can become a wife-minded woman. Because once you do that, the ring is a natural result. At the Single Season Summit this Sunday, we're going to get you together. You're going to find out whether it's your desires, your decision making. I'm going to let you just figure out what that last D is. That might be leading to your downfall when it comes to dating. Okay. So if you are ready to get it together, not just talking about it, but you're truly ready to do the work, because if you're going to create something that lasts a lifetime, it has to be built from a solid foundation. And in order for it to be built from a solid foundation, that means you got to show up with your ish together. So pull up to the Single Season Summit this Sunday. I'm going to help you get your ish together. Click the link in my bio to join me, or shoot me a DM if you happen to have questions about how the Single Season Summit could be helpful for you. My girl Ellie had to tap out. I don't know why Instagram is hating on us, but let me know in the chat really quick. I'm thinking this should be something that we do often, like a weekly conversation, a weekly little girl chat to help y'all get your ish together. I will run that by Ellie, see what she is talking about. We got to make sure she got a strong Wi-Fi signal over there, because the tea was hot today and the devil definitely was mad about this message that we were sharing. But I appreciate you all for being here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tap the link in my bio to join me this Sunday at the Single Season Summit. This can be your last season as a single woman if you are ready to do the work. I'll see y'all this Sunday. Peace out. All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that the audio was okay. I appreciate y'all for subscribing to the channel. Peace out.